Alright, what is this? Start at the beginning. So we got a shop, we got a jetpack on 1-2 that you must have found in a crate or in the crust. Or are you about to, hold on, before you do anything, are you going to dismount this turkey before it's finished with its attack animation? Because that is probably going to break ownership, kill the shopkeeper, give you all the items for free, and you're not going to get blamed. Is my prediction accurate? Like, I think you're gonna get off the turkey before the arrow is head-butted into the jetpack. That's what I think is gonna happen. Let's see if I've got it or not. Yep. Yep. And you don't get blamed for it. Exactly. Yeah, this is known tech. This is like cursed, like, pacifist tech almost, that you could do stuff like this, because like the blame pass-through just like hits the turkey, I think, is the one that gets blamed for you like blowing up the shop. Because once you get off the turkey, you don't own the actions of the turkey anymore. Somebody who's more familiar with pacifist could probably explain it better. Yeah, I think you can just hit the shopkeeper with the turkey, but you would have to do that 10 times because he gets stunned, if I recall correctly. So he's not going to shoot the jetpack and like get himself killed. But yeah, this is known tech, but let's watch it anyways, just for a little bit. I might not make a segment in the VOD for this though. But let's just admire the jank that is like ownership mechanics in this abominable video game. This is interesting though, and if you discovered this yourself, then congratulations. You can become a pacifist runner. Is there music over this? No, it's muted. Or it's so quiet that I can't hear it. Yeah, you got no audio on the clip. I don't know if that was intended or not, but whatever. It's fine. I was gonna have it muted anyways. Oh, this one's gonna be fiery if that power pack goes in far enough. Oh, this is different though. There's no turkey. What are we doing here? Yeah, if you're doing low percent, you can't use the mount for this, so it's not as applicable. No, wait, now there's a turkey. I mean, you just ruined your Drain-O-Mat run by doing this. I mean, I know you have Overlunky on. I'm just memeing. And God mode on apparently as well. Yeah, looks like it's just multiple iterations of this. But yeah, again, congrats if you discovered this yourself. Obscure pacifist tech is definitely something. Melee turkey damage has been patched, but not ranged. Really? Point blank melee has been patched? Let me actually check on that. I'm gonna fact check you on that real quick. You can look at my Chrome browser or whatever. Hold on. Here we are. Oh, is it another video? No, whatever. Let's look at this. Maybe people who just have not seen any of this tech before. Alright, what do we got? Alright, we got a turkey and an arrow again. Alright, what are we doing this time? It won't patch the boomerang. I don't think they could figure out how to patch it. Didn't they try to patch that? And it just broke. Like, they fixed the thing where you can use, like, ledge hangs and climbing gloves, but either they introduced the boomerang rob, or they failed to notice there was also the boomerang rob when they did it. I don't know what exactly went wrong when they patched that, but they're probably not going to do it anymore. Alright. Well, this just looks like the same thing as before. Wait a minute. Oh, no, that's a little different. Let's see. So that's interesting. Let's think about what's going on here with the ownership chain. I guess you lose ownership of the... Yeah, I guess you lose ownership of the arrow when it hits the dog. I don't know if anybody... Can anybody, like, confirm why this happens? Like, do you lose ownership of the dog once it is settled on the ground? I'm assuming that's what happens. I think you would own this dog. Oh, wait, did I miss the turkey? Hold on. Let me go back to the setup. Okay, so you do still, it has nothing to do with the dog. Okay, but you hit, I missed this part completely. I wasn't paying attention. Turkey owns the arrow. This is, I think, just the same thing then, but a little bit more like Rube Goldberg-y. Turkey owns the arrow. Bombing tiles underneath something does not, like, has never affected ownership. That just isn't a thing. So you do that. You're just lining it up at the door. Okay, then you use a jetpack, which it wouldn't have worked with the bomb bag anyways. You needed to do it with a jetpack. So that arrow is just still owned by the turkey. And so that shopkeeper is just upset with the turkey on that frame and can't blame the player. And then he blows up the bomb bag because, I mean, we need more explosions. Okay, that makes sense. I had completely missed the thing with the turkey, so the dog doesn't affect it. The arrow is still owned by the turkey. Okay, that makes sense. So again, nothing new, but still interesting to see these interactions and like try to solve them like a puzzle. When an arrow hits a pack, it seems like the pack always goes right. That doesn't seem correct, but I can check that really quickly. Let me see if I missed anything else in chat. I've had it closed for a bit. Alright, so let's see. Dog owns arrow. Or dog doesn't own arrow. It's irrelevant. It just bounced the arrow. And then you're also saying that the melee turkey damage has been patched. I'm honestly not brave enough to ever do that, so I actually don't know if that's been fixed. Let's do that one first. Just a bit of pacifist ownership jank before we end the stream here. Speed this up real quick. And let's see, we need to warp to the next level. There's our shop. Alright, so the first thing, turkey headbutt. If you get off the turkey before it hits the shopkeeper, will he get mad? And if you think you know the answer, I thought I knew the answer too, but I'm not sure anymore, so I'm going to try it. Let's just get him clear of all the stuff in the shop. Alright, so I'm going to do this with frame advance. So if you headbutt with the turkey, and then get off of the turkey before it actually connects, I still get blamed for that. So there's something more to this with like the ownership chain, because I got accused of doing that. Now, is this just a situation where the player just gets blamed for a headbutt for any reason because players are the only entity in the game that could do this? Like, did they just like hack this in? Like as a janky ownership mechanic? Like, this could be a hard-coded scenario specifically to prevent people from doing this, but without actually changing how ownership chains work at all. So 4354 is the turkey. Yeah, this turkey is not owned by anything, and I still got blamed for it. I don't have a good way to test this, but I'd be willing to say that you will get blamed if a turkey headbutts a shopkeeper, no matter how it happens, whether or not you are anywhere nearby or had anything to do with it. Because I don't think the player is capable of, or rather, I don't think the turkey is capable of even doing this. Yeah, I don't think the turkey can even headbutt. Like, there's nothing else in the game that would do that. Do rock dog projectiles do this? That's a good question. We're going to check that. I'm also going to check the turkey neck object, however. 4356. Is that owned by the player? It is owned by the turkey, who is owned by nobody. So there is no chain that could lead this to being blamed on the player, which makes me think they literally just hacked this in by making shopkeepers blame you if they take damage from a turkey headbutt for any reason. That would be my theory for how they did this. Lovely. Let's try that with Rock Dog. Just instant restart. So rock dogs have a similar mechanic behind them, but I wonder if the projectile is going to take ownership from the player, in which case this would not work the same way. So let me lure the shopkeeper over. And let's see what happens to the projectile. So the range, yeah, right there. So we shoot a fireball. And the fireball is 4241. Who is it owned by? Yeah, I think this isn't gonna work. The fireball is owned by the player. So if I were to get off this rock dog now... That is still owned by the player. I'm gonna get blamed for this. I think this one always works properly. I'm getting blamed for this one because I own that fireball, whereas a wild rock dog would not anger the shopkeeper. Yep, and sure enough, he's mad at me specifically. This one makes sense because the projectile got ownership of the player, not the rock dog that shot it. But if a wild rock dog were to have shot that fireball, I don't believe I get blamed for that, even if I'm riding the rock dog to make it shoot the fireball. We'll try both scenarios. Nice 1-2 game. Oh, that's awesome. Where's the shop? Oh, there it is. Never mind. Never mind, I'm shit talking. There was a shop. I missed it. I thought it was a winding level because I saw the weird path at the bottom. No, I'm just being an asshole. It's fine. You win this time, game. Alright, so, rock dog. E.tamed equals false. So it should run around now. And what we could do in this situation is we can get on this rock dog while it's facing the shopkeeper. Will we get blamed for this? We shouldn't. It fires a fireball. Oh, I own that fireball. Uh-oh. If you shoot fire on that quickly, you get hit but does no damage to you. That... Are you sure you don't have God mode on? Because that does damage. That'll damage you if you get hit by it. Check that you have God mode. Well, that fucking sucks. You actually get blamed for this. If you're on the rock dog when it shoots its panic fireball, you get blamed for it. You think it's frame perfect? So we can look at that in a moment. Does your jetpack blow up? Oh, okay, you're asking. You're not asking me. Yeah, I got blamed for that. That's not my rock dog. What about when a caveman shoots it? Well, we don't need a caveman. We can just check a wild rock dog for that. Why am I playing the level? We can check a wild one for that. So if we have a rock dog, named false, we need to get it to face in the right direction. I could vandalize the shop a little bit to make my contrived situation happen. And then we're going to stand behind the shopkeeper. So no one has touched this rock dog. Nobody should own it. Yeah, that jump dog is egg plop. So those guys. Yeah, that fireball is owned by the rock dog. It did not get passed through to the player. So I do not get blamed for this. I don't see why the caveman one would be any different. Unless you really want me to test that. I don't want to have to open the script that lets me spawn a caveman on a rock dog. So I'm pretty sure that it's just if you are on the rock dog, you get blamed for it. Let me try it also getting off of the rock dog while I'm in the taming animation. Nah, yeah, I don't think we need to see that. So if I get on the rock dog, I said if I get on the rock dog, it shoots a fireball and then I immediately get off of it. Alright, never mind, Dudu was right. This is what you were talking about? Huh. Yeah, that's it right there. Now, do I take damage from that? Actually, maybe you weren't right. Hold on, we didn't check God mode. Control spawn a caveman on a rock dog. Really? Okay, I'll do that in a moment. Yeah, I had God mode on too. Let's try it without God mode. So if I get on the rock dog... it was still on its cooldown. Let me jump off. Okay, it's off cooldown now. Fireball, jump off. Maybe I could have gotten off a frame sooner. Wait. No, I didn't get hit. The rock dog hit itself with the fireball. Did the rock dog hit itself? Is that what you observed? Yeah, it's hitting the rock dog. This is what happens. Getting off of the rock dog presumably breaks the ownership chain that would prevent self-damage from the fireball. So on that frame, it just hits the rock dog immediately. Try it with a tamed one. Now we can try that, and then let's see, control click for caveman. Alright, so that just means I need to get off it later. Okay, now it should be clear. Yeah. I still own this fireball. The shopkeeper is gonna get mad when he gets hit by this. Yeah, so if the fireball is shot while I'm on the rock dog, it's my fireball. So the only way that I could negate that is through like ownership pass-through if I then got stunned by some other entity. And that is a subject for the pacifist runners and not me to cover right now. Because I only know like elementary, like maybe like middle school level like pacifist mechanics. And there are all sorts of bizarre interactions. Like you need a PhD to understand whether or not Ton counts as a pacifist kill or not. And I have not reached that level of education. That is for somebody else to explain if you want to understand how ton pacifism works, because fucking hell, I sure don't. So let's see, what do we want to do? Try it with a tamed one. Okay, we'll try the self-damage with a tamed rock dog, and then we'll try caveman on rock dog, just because Dregu told me how to do it. I don't think it's going to actually matter. So I'm just going to tame it manually, it should be a little easier. How long does ownership last? It depends. Ask somebody else. Well, I mean, it lasts until something else takes ownership. Or in the case of stuff that's on the ground, I think some things lose ownership after they have settled for a while. There's ownership in pacifism, and I think there's sometimes not overlapping in mechanics, but I think some entities sitting on the ground will not be yours after they stop moving, but other things will continue to be yours. And then you can also get blamed for telefragging shopkeepers that are already dead for some reason. I think most enemies, you lose pacifism if you telefrag a dead body, because the devs forgot to check if the entity was already dead before you telefragged it. Alright, let's try this. Alright, so fireball. Jump off the mount. Why can't I jump off the mount on that frame? Can you not jump off the mount during this animation? Fireball. Dismount. Okay, let me wait a little longer. Fireball. Down plus jump. I cannot get off of the mount on this frame. I can try to do it a frame later, I guess. Can I jump up off of the mount? I don't know if you get 2 kills. My understanding is it violates pacifist. I cannot get off of the rock dog on the next frame. Like, the game just ignores that input. Most keep ownership forever, but isn't there something like if you drop a vampire on a conveyor belt, you only get blamed if it bounces, but not if it settles? Like, that's what I'm talking about with needing a PhD to understand this shit. Jump off and move forward. Okay. Now let's run into the fireball. Alright, so we're at full speed. So we shoot a fireball, I need to wait a frame, and then jump off the rock dog. No, that still didn't do it. I can't get off the rock dog while it's tamed. Like, I cannot do it on the next frame after I perform the jump input. Lad's Castle is a bit weird. Yeah, everything is weird about this. So, again, fireball. Up plus jump. My player will not get off the rock dog on this frame, and by the next frame, the fireball is too far away. Look, we could spoil what would theoretically happen if I was able to get off the rock dog, and it would be that right there. I think it's the tamed rock dog for some reason puts you in a different state where you can get off of it earlier, but once it's tamed, you can't seem to do that. Fire unmounts. That's the thing. It's fire, and then the game eats my unmount frame. I cannot unmount on the frame after I fire. The game will not let me do it. It is just consuming that input, like nothing is happening on that frame. Or you want me to get hit by the fireball? Oh, is that what we're trying to do? Okay, I understand now. You want me to get hit by the fireball, not the rock dog. Alright, fireball. Unmount. I have to wait a couple frames. I don't even know if I can catch up with the fireball. I know you can hit yourself with a turkey, but the fireball comes out instantly. So, okay. We fireball. I have to wait a frame. So I guess I could be running when I unmount. So let's get to full speed. Alright. Fireball. We have to wait a frame. I get off of the mount. That appears to have killed all of my speed. There's no way. Dude, I don't know what you did. Did you do this with a tamed mount? How the fuck did you do this? Ownership lasts forever, especially with landmines. Yeah, and I could see that being an issue. I still don't know, like, what you get blamed for involving, like, landmines and bear traps. No need to run before unmount. Alright. Let's go through this step by step. Frame 1. Shoot the fireball. What do you want me to do on this frame? Because it ain't getting off the mount. I literally cannot get off the mount on this frame. The game will not let me. Bear traps can't be your fault. I mean, they can if you drop them on an enemy, but I think that's just the contact damage. But I guess they aren't your fault once they've opened, but landmines are? Dude, you're not understanding. I can't get off the mount on this frame. It will not let me. It will not happen. Probably because I'm in the attacking state. Whatever, we just shot a fireball. Next frame. Nothing's happening. I'm in the sitting state. Now the game is going to let me dismount, but I'm holding my jump input right now. Maybe a frame later. Okay. Let's wait for the cooldown. Here's what's happening. I fire with the mount. I'm in the attacking state for one fucking frame because the state machine in this game is horse shit. Which means I can't get off the mount for some reason. I need to be back in the sitting state. So, now I'm in the sitting state. Now I can press the input to jump off of the rock dog or drop down off of it. I don't think it's going to really make a difference. You're just saying unmount, so I'm going to assume you mean drop off of the mount, like this. At which point this fireball is just, it's way over here. I can't get to this fireball. There's absolutely no shot that I can touch this fireball. And I think the reason this happens is because the mount, like, when it's not tamed, does not put me in the attacking state for landing on it. So I can get off of it immediately. But in this case, I have to wait a frame, and the fireball is just long gone by then. Try it with a turkey. Well, it works with the turkey because the turkey has a wind-up delay. Like, have you ever done this with a rock dog is my question. You can do this with a turkey. This is fairly well known. I don't think I even need frame advance to do this. Let's see, it's just this. Like that. Like, I know how to do this with a turkey. It's very easy. I literally just did it first try, and I never do this. Like, not even to curse myself. And to see that in slow motion for anyone who missed the details, you headbutt with the turkey. That puts you into the attacking state. A frame later, I can get off the turkey, but it hasn't finished its headbutt attack, so I can just get off the turkey and hold right. And get hit by the turkey when it spawns in its head a few frames later. That's the reason why this works with the turkey. The rock dog instantly fires off the fireball, and that's why you can't do this with it. Use a plasma cannon to catch up with the fireball. I mean, you're just gonna get hit by it at that point, I suspect. But actually, I don't know if you can get hit by your own fireball. Maybe you can't. I mean, I could just teleport myself in front of it and find out, just pretend we did it right. You swear it works, you're gonna clip it. Alright, go for it. Just keep me up for another hour, see if I care. Let's see if I can get myself hit by my own fireball. If I just teleport in front of it. Alright, so we do that, we wait a frame, we get off the mount. It's not conceivable that entity ID order is relevant here, so you know what? We haven't ruled out everything. I think I have to do diligence. I need to check if ID order actually matters for this. So we'll check that in a moment here. Yeah, you can't get hit by your own fireball. It's because I have ownership of it. If I were to change the owner of this fireball, I would get hit by it. Or you can get hit by it after a really, really fucking long delay. Never mind, I thought you couldn't get hit by the fireball and the game just waited for a few seconds. There must be a delay on it before you can, like, take damage from it. It's probably the counter. Or the idle counter. I can check that actually really quickly to see if you can get hit by your own fireball. Now let's just use this bit of wizardry here. How does this work? Do I just click on this? And just control R, I guess does it. I'm back. Okay, that works in single player. It's just online with the player ghosts, I think, that weren't tested properly because, I mean, who plays local co-op, honestly? There's an in-game item that lets you teleport. Yeah, there is. But we also have technology. Yeah, I should probably do it with a real teleporter. It'll be more authentic. Teleporter. The problem with the teleporter is going to be I'm going to teleport like super fucking far ahead. But let's see how this goes. Why is it so hard to get on these mounts? Right. Okay, hold on. We got to do this. Hold on, I'm still in the sitting state. Wait, dude, are you holding down before you do it? I didn't think that would make a difference. It's in the... I'm still in the sitting state. Can I get off on the next frame? Oh, that was it. You have to hold down ahead of time. Subtle details in game mechanics. And then the fireball hit the rock dog. Okay, you don't have to make that clip unless you're like still doing it. Hold down. Those instructions were not given. It's actually different. You forgot to say how important details. And we didn't learn anything from it, but if you shoot a fireball... Oh my fucking god, get this... You'll notice I went into the attacking state when I used the teleporter there. If you shoot a fireball, you go into the attacking state, then the sitting state, and you can get off of the rock dog then. But if you hold down the whole time, because this game was not programmed very well, you don't go into the attacking state, and then you can get off on the next frame, and then the fireball will hit the rock dog's enlarged hitbox on the next frame. So it doesn't even hit the player. You cannot hit yourself with a fireball. Unless you have a teleporter. What if you do it with an Axo? Well, we're gonna find out, aren't we? Give that push block. The teleporter was inadvertently the thing that made me understand what's going on here. It's a long teleport. I don't know if I'll get back to the fireball in time. Yeah, okay, yeah, you can hit yourself in the face with a fireball. It just looks like there's a bit of a delay before you can take damage from it. And one more thing I want to try here. Yeah, we don't need the teleporter anymore. So that's going to hit the rock dog. But if we do that a frame later... So here's the thing I don't quite understand, is why I'm not getting hit by the fireball right now. But I think I know what the reason is, and I think it has to have a certain idle counter before it'll hit me. Oh, we never did try that penetrating ghost breath thing, did we? Oh well. It would have been very silly and not authentic to the game. Alright, so let's see here. What is our idle counter? Yeah, a lot of things can't hit you. I'm betting that it has something to do with the idle counter. Let's set the idle counter to like 60. No? Okay, how about the other one? The other one that they sometimes use, which I think is stand counter? No? I don't even know at this point. I don't know what else is in this fireball. Like, they usually just use those entities. Let's see, what type is it? It's a fireball. I swear to God, if I don't have this one in my toolbox. I don't have it in the toolbox. Let me just check if there's any variables exposed for this. Fireball. No, it just has a particle emitter. Oh, and it has a projectile. It could be an unexposed field. I'm not gonna dig into this anymore. I don't know why there's a delay before you can get hit by your own fireball. Let me move this out of the way of the chat. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for this. And it's getting late. I can't keep digging into these edge cases. So let's look at axolotls. Yeah, who shop tees? I don't know what the mechanic is for like self-collision with entities. Because some entities like can have to like bounce off a wall to hit you. Some of them have like a speed check. If it's like a new Shopkeeper, it has an even lower speed check. You lose ownership if it sets off a laser trap and it stuns you instantly. I don't understand how these things work. None of them are consistent. There we go. We just finally now got fucking hit by the fireball. Weird video game. Let's see. Axolotl. What can we do with that? Pretty sure you can bubble yourself. Because I think axolotl has a wind-up before it'll actually bubble. Yeah, axolotl has a wind-up, so you have plenty of time to just get off of it. So if I do that, like, first frame, let me see if I can get hit by my own bubble, or if it'll go through me. Why is it so hard to get back on these mounts? Alright, so let's see if the same thing happens. Yeah, it's the same thing. Attacking state, sitting state. So if we crouch down, attack, get off the mount, get hit by the bubble immediately. So I mean, here's a really cursed way that you can like go up, I suppose, if you just can't get high enough with the axolotl by itself. It's probably not hard to do in real time. Yeah, it's not hard to do in real time. I did that one first try as well. Somebody can probably find a use for this. Fucking wacky Kaizo mechanics, just self-bubble with an axolotl. Like it's already tamed, you can't use a wild one, and you just have to know that it's possible to do that. Boy, we got a lot of Kaizo mechanics on this stream. Can I bubble this? No. No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see, what else did I want to check here? I wanted to check if the Shopkeeper gets mad for axolotl bubbles, but it's probably the same ownership mechanic. Imagine a Tiamat skip who uses this. Yeah, the bubble speed is wrong, but it would be interesting if you could actually do that. There's no way to control the vertical speed of the bubble. Let me go find a new shop. Get this guy to stop throwing a tantrum. Now come down here, buddy. Are you gonna get mad at me if I ride an axolotl? Alright, so we're untaming it. Yeah, we get blamed for that, even though it's wild. So I suspect that we're gonna get blamed even if we jump off it, because it's probably an owned projectile. Just like the Rock Dog Fireball. I don't know where my axolotl went during that load. Yeah, whatever. Warping isn't always the same thing as leaving a level normally, so I might have lost it because I left on the first frame. Alright, so I'm going to get off of this one before it hits the Shopkeeper, but I think we're going to see the exact same outcome. You going to center yourself? No? No, a little more. I hate these fuckers that move like super fast, so they actually overshoot, like trying to center themselves, and they take like multiple passes to do it. It's very strange. Alright, we get off the axolotl. Oh, you know, that's interesting. There's a delay. I don't own this bubble because I wasn't on the axolotl when it spawned the bubble. Yeah, what if you jump? Oh, okay, that's exactly what you were thinking. You can't do that with the Rock Dog because the Rock Dog instantly fucking shoots a projectile, but the axolotl has a wind-up. How do we make the Rock Dog fire itself? You can do it one. Well, I mean, it's frame perfect. You have to crouch, you have to shoot the fireball, you have to get off the rock dog on the next frame. Literally one frame after you shoot the fireball, and it will hit itself. Imagine if rock dogs had wind up. Wouldn't that be wild if you actually didn't instantly die to rock dogs in dark volcano levels because they were reasonably designed? That's a ludicrous thought that you just had right there, and I can't fathom a video game that would be designed like that. I fucking hate how there are so many things in this game that have absolutely no wind-up. Rock dogs are one of the worst examples, but there's also stuff like the Tiki Men, where just instantaneously they are attacking. The second, not the second, the frame that you come into view, attack. No wind-up, no animation, no nothing. Enemy instantly starts attacking. I don't like that. Like, there's no good counterplay to that kind of situation. It's such tight timings on everything. And rock dogs in dark levels will shoot you literally as you come into view, unless you have the torch, which you probably don't, because you're speedrunning and you need your whip to kill all the fucking bats, so you most likely do not have a torch when that happens. Now let me wait for the shopkeeper to unstun. So I'm going to stay on the axolotl this time, and we're going to see if I get blamed if I stay on it when the bubble spawns. And that's my bubble. And if I get off the axolotl, that is still my bubble. So there's some finesse to doing this here, to not get blamed by the vendor. You got to get off fast, because if you are on the axolotl when the bubble spawns, that is your fault. Otherwise, the axolotl owns the bubble, and the shopkeeper does not blame you for it. Keelan doesn't do anything when you mount him, and is otherwise like functionally the same as a rock dog. Wild Keelan doesn't shoot fireballs though, so there's not really anything to test here. If you mean Keelan hitting itself with the fireball, we can try that. So this should be tamed. All the mounts are tamed now. So it should be the same idea as before. I just need to get this dumbass to leave me alone. But you enjoy your bunny hole. You stay in there. I'm gonna go down here where he's not gonna be shooting. Alright, let's try this. Alright, so you hold down, you shoot the fireball, you get off a frame later, and the fucking rock dog hits itself. Yeah, this is what I was expecting, because the up dog is not fireproof despite spawning fireballs, so it just hits itself. It's the exact same thing as the rock dog. I could probably do it in real time if I try hard enough. See if I can first try this bad boy. Nope, I whipped it. Did I do that first? Second try? Nope, third try? There we go, third try. That's not too bad for a frame perfect input for someone who's not very good at this. Yeah, do this and then bubble skip. You come up with a fun name for it, I got nothing. Tamed axolotl bubble dismount shopkeeper. That probably works. Oh, well, we're not using that axolotl. But yeah, I guess if you get off of it, it probably will behave like the other case with the turkey, because you're not on it when it headbutts it. And I think the turkey, like, headbutt object does damage the instant it spawns in, so there's no, like, travel time for the projectile. So yeah, this is a good case to check. We didn't look at this one yet. So again, we spawn funny axolotl. We shoot a bubble. And then we get off. That's my axolotl. But it is not my bubble because I was not on the axolotl. However, the shopkeeper somehow had time to fucking shoot a bullet despite being stunned by the axolotl bubble, because I don't know why the game does that sometimes. I don't know if anybody knows why shopkeepers can sometimes shoot on the frame that they get stunned. It might be the low ceiling or something, like changing the way the AI reacts. Game is dumb. Let's make another one. Now that he's not under the ceiling, let's see if he does that. Alright, so again, we shoot. We get off before it spawns the bubble. And he fucking shoots somehow this time. But that other shopkeeper was not shooting last time that I did this. I don't know why they're able to do this sometimes. I guess now he's holding his gun, so that might be part of it. Entity ID. This is the same entity ID setup we had last time now. Oh, see, he's not gonna have a gun. Let me go get one that doesn't have his gun out yet. Why does the fire hit the rock dog? Doesn't it go forward? The rock dog's hitbox gets bigger when you're not riding it. I can show the same thing with the axolotl. Big hitbox, small hitbox. Big, small hitbox. Why does it do that? I don't know. But that's why it can hit itself. Oh, that sucks, dude. Is there not even a shop in this level, or am I on 1-1 and I'm just dumb? What level am I on? I'm on 1-1. I'm just dumb. Stupid streamer. Alright, there's our shop. It hit itself at its confusion. Alright, let's try this with the shopkeeper not out in the open. Same thing, shoot the bubble. Get off the axolotl so it's not my fault. He's just able to shoot for some reason. But that other shop he wasn't. I don't know. I don't know how long I can look into this. We're going on 10 hours here. I don't know why the shopkeeper is able to shoot when he gets hit by the bubble. Oh, never mind. Actually, I know why he's able to shoot. I think he gets instantly freed by the items on top of him. Let me move these items. Actually, I'll let him have his shotgun, then I'll try another case if we don't get a confirmed result here. I think having his items on top of him or him dropping the key when he gets stunned is the thing that's causing that to happen. Because, I mean, why wouldn't it? Alright, so he has his shotgun still. Get off the axolotl. So he is able to shoot in that situation. So let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna get one that doesn't have any items touching him when he, like, gets hit by the bubble. Voice echoes in here. Yeah, cool. Let me go find the shop real quick. At least there's one basically guaranteed to spawn in voice echoes. I have yet to see a winding voice echoes level that wasn't able to spawn a shop on 1-2, but I wouldn't put it past this game to try. I wonder if the fucking key is going to cause problems here. Can you get the guy's key by doing this? Why is he able to shoot? He didn't even spawn the key in yet. Oh my god, I don't know. Does it have something to do with this shop type? We're gonna try one more thing. Then I'll look at whatever's in chat. My voice echoes in here. Cool. Love this video game. Okay, this is a normal shop for normal people that are normal. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna reduce all the extraneous factors here. This is exactly how we've been doing this every time, and the ID of the axolotl shouldn't matter because the bubble projectile is going to be the thing that has an ID that's relevant. Yeah, he's been facing left. We're testing that too by chance. No, he could just shoot now. Chat, I have no idea. I don't know. I do not understand. And totally not the type of game that would be that. No, there are facing direction biases in this game. They're not very common, but like laser trap knockback will do that. And for some reason, mechs have an asymmetrical hitbox as well. I don't know why. Just mechs specifically. While we're on the subject of mounts, I can show that pretty easily. So here's a mech. Hitbox is over to the right side of the mech, where the front is. You get in the mech, it stands up there, and then the hitbox protrudes to the left. But if I turn the mech around, the hitbox still protrudes to the left, and now the origin of the mech is further to the right than it would be normally. It only protrudes to the left, never the right, no matter what direction you're facing. Why? Because they didn't test it properly. What else did I miss? Alright, we got a link. I'll look at that in a second. Yeah, I don't have an explanation. I think I'm going to give up on the shopkeeper thing because we're running way too late to keep looking into that. I don't know why they sometimes shoot. If people have other examples of shopkeepers shooting on the same frame that they get stunned, I can collaborate all of that together into like a science session. But I don't know for now. I'm going to write down a note about that and come back to that another time. There we go. Don't know what's going on with that. Kingu is asymmetrical. Yeah, that's a bug. So that's another example of it. Kingu asymmetrical AI is because they didn't do the checks in the right order. Kingu will like only move towards you if you're to the like left side or something, or I forget which one it is. There's a region where Kingu will just not move towards you, and it might be the left side. I don't recall. Yeah, first 10 seconds of gameplay experience, stuff like this. Like, you don't, but I still wish they would polish this game, given how dedicated the player base is. Like, just because it's not something you experience in the dwelling doesn't mean that's an excuse for, like, shoddy game design and bad testing. At least I don't think it's a good excuse. Does it matter if it's wild or not? Hey, shouldn't. Alright, fine, we're gonna check one more thing. Did it matter if it was a wild axolotl? Then I'll look at that link, which is hopefully related to what we're doing right now. This fucker has a key, but that doesn't seem to actually matter. No, he still shoots. I have no idea. Alright, moving on. Oh yeah, left plus right. Yeah, if you hold left and right at the same time, you just move left. And as I've said in a previous stream, there are three ways to handle this situation, and one of them is wrong. Guess which one Spelunky went with? You can either have a video game where holding left and right is neutral. That's fine. You just don't move at all if you're holding both inputs. They cancel out. You can also have a video game where it takes the latest of the conflicting inputs. So if I start by holding left, for instance, and then I start pressing right, I start moving right instead, even if I'm holding both buttons down. However, in Spelunky, left is just always prioritized. I'm holding right, and I'm going to add left. I go left. I let go, I go back to the right. Left, back to the right. Left, back to the right. They picked the worst one. There were 3 things they could have done, and they fucking picked the worst one for some reason. It prioritizes for you. You're insane. It's always left. I have never seen or heard any situation where it will actually go back to the right instead. If you can make that happen consistently, please let me know how to do it, because I haven't figured it out. I'm on keyboard. If you have like a controller with a segmented D-pad, you might be able to simulate that. Like if you have D-pad buttons instead of a single panel, you might be able to check and see if controller is any different. Classic does an even more cursed thing. What the fuck does Classic do? Maybe because I'm left-handed IRL? That ain't it. I'm also not left-handed, but something tells me that this game cannot detect that information. Dumb video game. It's gotten me killed before too. Situations where I kind of like fat fingered the inputs, and instead of not moving or moving in the new direction, I didn't let go of left fast enough, and I like fell off a ledge and touched something or walked into lava. It's amazing how a game with precise platforming like this would overlook something incredibly obvious, like what to do if you're holding down 2 conflicting inputs. And the same thing happens on a ladder. If you're holding up and down on a ladder, you just move up. Up is the prioritized direction on a ladder. Left plus right while walking in Classic makes you stand still, but holding them both while running makes you decelerate if you're moving to the right until you stop moving. I was about to say, what does it do when you're moving to the left? Does it give you like a... You mean it gives you like a sliding effect or something? Like you're slippery when you're moving to the right? Does it just like instantly stop you to the left or something? I mean, Classic is an abomination. No, don't do that. Don't launch Classic. Don't do that to yourself. Oh god. I don't know what we're doing right now. Let's go look at this post here. I'm gonna have to cut off some missions for things to test here. I need to end stream, so this is gonna be the last thing I test unless I create a rabbit hole for myself, which I'm gonna try to avoid doing. Alright, so we got one more clip. This one's on Reddit. Now let's see if this will capture. Here we go. Nice smear frames. I'm pretty sure there's a setting that you could change this. Oh, never mind. You were doing that intentionally. I thought that it was just like a weird recording. All right, so I did not even look at the title of the thing, so let's see if we could figure out what the problem is just by doing it. Okay, you just keep going left. All right, we have closure on the classic thing. Makes you move left on the ground, but right while in the air. It really depends on what order the developer put the if-else check in, which, again, you should not do. You should check for both of them and neutralize the movement, but they didn't. So I did not look at the title of this video. I have literally no idea what I'm in for here. All right, we got a sick arrow whip. Gotta zoom in on that. No one's ever done that before. That poor caveman. All right, so what do we got here? Is he gonna crush the shopkeeper? Is this even science, or are you just showing something cool? Because I mean, I respect it, but at the same time, this is supposed to be science right now. Okay, you just pushed the shopkeeper out of the fucking shop. Yeah, I think I know what's going on here. I mean, it's kind of scientific. People don't usually think to do stuff like this. What's he gonna grab? No way he prioritizes that shield. Yeah, you gotta get that boomerang out of there. Yep. I mean, that's not your fault. You didn't do that. That was not you. That was, in fact, the caveman that did that. Beautiful. Okay, I like this. The video redeemed itself by putting that at the end. Well done. Let's get out of that. Yeah, so that's not science. I think we all know what was going on there. But, I mean, it's science in the sense that it's an interesting ownership mechanic that you could use to just commit burgling without actually getting blamed for it. The left plus right behavior in Classic is different in mid-air. I am so glad I do not play Classic. Like, Jesus fuck. What an abomination. In this game, I think it's always the same. Let's see. I'm going to hold left and right. We move left. Yeah, it's always the same in this game. Ground or air. It's always left. Yeah, it's the same. So they didn't fuck that up at the very least. I think I can check mounts as well, just because I'm curious. Check turkey and mech. Turkey and mech would be the only two scenarios I probably need to check, and it's always to the left. Yeah, it's always to the left for turkey. And for mech, looks like it's always to the left. But it does have to do the slow-ass turning animation when it detects that you're finally holding left. If you're ducking, yeah, it's still to the left. And if you're in the air, it's always to the left. Alright, same thing every time by the look of things. So it's consistently inconsistent. It shouldn't do this at all. There should be no bias, but at least it's always left. Got HD installed to check. Fucking I could check it. Give me an excuse to close this game and end the stream. You hold left plus right, you move left at full speed. You run off a ledge and you start decelerating and you land on the ground and you very slowly start accelerating again. Okay, you're gonna go ahead and check that. Yeah, save me some trouble here. We don't need to turn this into an HD science stream. I am not qualified for that. By the way, mechs are immune to spikes, for anyone who cares. I mean, this can't normally happen. There's no floor spikes in ice caves or Neo. They're also immune to the ceiling spikes. Oh, actually, here's something fun that I could show while we're waiting. So you see how the mech's hitbox gets a little bit bigger in that situation? So if you set up a push block like this, and go into this little gap here, and then press crouch, your mech explodes because it's too big to fit in the gap. Isn't that a cool feature? How the hitbox is just slightly bigger for no apparent reason when you crouch down. I love this video game. But there's a fun party trick you can show to all your friends. Can you shoot yourself with a mech like we do with the turkey? The ride never ends. My guess is probably not, because the hitbox is like... The projectile spawns really far forward, but we're gonna find out. So first of all, let's get a base rule here. When does the projectile spawn? It's probably instantaneous, which means we can't do any funny ownership jank. Alright, so if you press both buttons on the same frame, you get out of the mech. If I shoot and then try to get out of the mech, I can actually get out on the next frame, but look at how fucking far ahead the plasma shot already is. So yeah, there's no chance. It spawns in front of the mech. We have no means of like getting ourselves hit by it because plasma shots move at, I think, maximum velocity. Is that mech explosion possible without an active floor? I don't think so. There's no other like collision that would do that. Because this is what it looks like in a 2-tile pit. Like it fits. Not by a lot, but it does fit, so you can't like crush yourself by doing that. What happens also is if I crouch down while I'm facing to the left, it protrudes to the left. If I'm facing right, it protrudes to the left. So if I go over here and crouch down, it'll actually move the mech to the right, and now there's a gap here that wasn't there previously. Isn't that lovely? Do you have ownership if you dismount? You can't dismount. This is the frame by frame of the dismount. Hello, Ted Cuddy. How are the runs going? We have not done any runs today, unless you count the task that I was making earlier, which nobody gave me a better name for the stream, so this entire stream has just been making a tutorial task, maybe science later. But yeah, I shoot, I get off the mech. Oh, the mech owns that shot. Hold up a second. Is there an ownership chain going on here? I actually wasn't expecting that. Why does the mech own that shot? Maybe there is like some frame perfect nonsense that you can do with this. Will I get blamed for this? See, this is why I try things, even after I say that it's not going to work. No, the mech owns the shot. I think I see what we're doing. You can't hit yourself with a mech, but you don't own the shot. The fuck? Can you punch yourself with mech? I think you can. We're gonna need to test this on a shop. First of all, let's see if I can punch myself. So the punch has a wind-up animation, but I don't know if I can get out of the mech while I'm doing it. So, punch. I don't know exactly when the hitbox spawns. It's kind of... I don't think that the punch even spawns a hitbox. I think it just hurts things in front of the mech after a specific frame. I think I'm locked in to the animation. Or maybe it's just a 1 frame. Let's see, is it another 1 frame attack animation? Yeah, it is. Of course it is. Attacking for 1 frame, so I can't get out on this frame. The next frame, I should be able to get out. It doesn't even fucking wait. It just doesn't even wait. I'm just instantly get hit by it. I didn't even have time to get in front of the mech. Oh, this game is stupid. That one's probably easy to do. I don't think that needs frame precision to do that. Let's go over here. This game is so fucking stupid sometimes. Do I own the punch? The punch is the responsibility of the mech, I'm pretty sure. So let's see, if I wait a few frames and then get out. I don't know if the punch is instant, actually. Hold on, we need to test if the punch is instantaneous, because if so, then I probably own it. Because I own the mech. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th frame seems to be the one that deals the damage. So in theory, I think if you're willing to like hit yourself in the face with the mech, I think you can actually get out and not own the punch. Oh cool, a shop. We're just in time. This is so stupid. Alright, so let's say we coerce the shopkeeper to leave his shop so I don't accidentally punch the wall. So, punch, wait a frame, get out of the mech, get hit in the face. You do not get blamed for that. That is not my fault. I had nothing to do with that. I was not even in the vehicle when it happened. I had nothing to do with this. Now the second part. Will he get mad at me if I shoot a plasma shot? This could be a situation where you get unconditionally blamed for the plasma shot. Kind of like the turkey neck. You do not understand mech pacifist mechanics. I mean, to be fair, it's not a situation that comes up very often. If you get hit by something else in the level and then you get hit by the mech, you will do a passy kill. I mean, I don't know if there's a passy kill. I'm not researching the pacifist aspect of this right now, because that's just more complexity to add on top of this. I just want to see if the shopkeeper blames me for it. You've had wild mechs anger shopkeepers. Well, let's see. So, let's see. We have a shot. So the owner of this shot is the mech. 4255. The mech is actually not owned by anybody, even though I'm riding it. Yeah, nobody owns this mech, despite the fact that I am literally in the driver's seat right now. Nobody owns this mech. But I think if I was still in it when I punch the shopkeeper, I will get blamed for that. I'm almost certain you get blamed for that. But if I get out of the mech, he's probably going to blame me anyways. Or he's not going to care, and he's going to shoot like 3 or 4 times. The fuck is this game? Now he's mad at me. Huh? How did it know that I... Maybe there's like a pass-through. Okay, you know what? I wonder if it was like a pass-through thing where the mech owned the plasma shot. And since I'm riding the mech, there's a special case that blames the player if they are riding a mech that vandalizes the shop or hurts the shopkeeper. But we have a comment here. You've seen wild mechs anger shopkeepers before. This is the understanding this, like memorizing all the rules for what you could do with mounts to like not anger shopkeepers is absurd. Like this is absolutely absurd. My voice echoes in here. Alright, we need a wild mech. So Dragu said that control clicking would spawn something in it, so that would be easier than what I'm going to do. So mechs always spawn tamed. We're gonna spawn an alien. It does not matter what the rider is, and control click. Perfect. Thank you, Dragu. This is actually really useful. So now if we bait this fucker to shoot at me, just to remove complexity, let me get these out of the way, and I'm also going to put the shopkeeper downstairs so that we could see if he gets aggroed. So this guy's going to see me in a moment here. I think. I can get him to punch the shop, actually. Let's try that first. Punch me. There he goes. Alright, so shopkeeper didn't even shoot, like, in retaliation to this guy shooting the shop like that. Yeah, I don't know. Wild mechs do not... the shopkeeper just does not care. You baited an All Might to shoot a mech at a shop. You deflected off the All Might or something? Dude, I don't fucking know. I don't understand this game. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, okay, we're just gonna bonk, I guess. Can I punch the shop? No, I can't punch the shop. He gets all pissy when I do that. It was long ago. I cannot spend all night testing cases for this. The mech is interesting though. You saw a character, Valerie. What you saw was... let me grab it. You saw this right here. I am an item on the mech because the mech is holding Valerie right now is what's happening. But we're not, like, as far as the ownership chain is concerned, I don't own this mech, but I think that there is a pass-through mechanic where I will still get blamed for anything this mech does while I'm in it. But if I get out of the mech, then the projectiles or the mech itself are no longer my responsibility, and the game will not pass that back through me. So, like, get this, chat. If you are on a rock dog and you spawn a fireball, you own the fireball. If you are on a mech and you spawn a plasma shot, the mech owns the plasma shot. Imagine a universe where these mechanics were programmed consistently to work the exact same way every time, because that is not the universe that we live in right now. We live in this universe where Spelunky has absolutely nothing consistent. Does he care if I blow up the mech? The ride never ends. I'm not even going to be testing with Yang. We're not touching Yang. We're not dealing with Tun. We're not messing with any of those things. And I'll just blow it up with a bomb. I have God mode on, so I don't have to care about my health right now. Alright, so I own this mech. Like, this is mine now. So when I'm fucking riding the mech, I don't own it. But I own the mech after I blow it up. Let me just verify that while this is taking an hour to blow up. Yep, I do not own this mech, but I own this one. Why? Why is everything different? Yeah, Mecha Dwelling. It'll be the same with an Ice Caves or Neo Shop. Nice sound. Vandal. Yep, alright, so. That's, I mean, what you would expect, I suppose. Do I own the mech if I whip it? Probably not. Nope. That ain't mine. Haven't you heard of you break it, you buy it? Oh shit. Is that what happens? Is that really the only way I can own this mech? Is this like a commentary on the modern era where you're not allowed to own things? And like, you don't own your phone. Samsung owns your phone. I don't own my Windows computer. Microsoft does. I don't own this mech unless I break it. In which case, now I have to pay the money for the mech because it is mine, but only if I break it. It's a commentary on the modern era. Dude, chill out. The true Spelunky lore, you don't actually own things in this video game. They're temporarily leased to you. Unless you break them. Does the mech take damage if player 2 whips it if I'm on it? No, mechs do not take whip damage. I forget if they take power pack damage. I think they do take power pack damage. But it doesn't matter if there's a player on it, they just don't take whip damage. Yeah, they do take power pack damage, however. But you see you have to whip it 10 times to break it. Actually, was that 10 times? It might be that the power pack bypasses the normal, like, damage reduction, because Shopkeepers take 2 damage when you fire whip them, but 0 damage if you don't fire whip them, so it might just bypass that check. Let me do it slowly so that I don't have, like, stacking cumulative effects. Alright, you can see the health on the tooltip of the mech. 9, no, it's just 1 damage at a time. Yeah, so it still doesn't deal the whip damage. Or actually, do Shopkeepers take that damage? Oh my god, I gotta fact check myself now. I need to get forgiven. Forgive me. Okay, we're forgiven. How much health do you have, buddy? I need to remember how this works. No, I was wrong. Actually, it's only 1 damage for the Shopkeeper. It doesn't bypass the whip, but he takes the fire damage and the stun. 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I must have miscounted. I started counting late, but it should have been 10 damage. You can go back and count it properly, because I don't know how to count. You've seen my CO runs. I can't even count to 3. Oh my god, this game is so bizarre. Did we forget to cover anything here? What else is there? We might as well just finish this rabbit hole while we're here. Did I miss any, like, bizarre mech ownership edge cases? Or any of the other mounts? Only got ownership after it took 10 damage. Well, yeah, I blew it up. That's why I got ownership. I broke it.